What's up, everybody? We're back with another prison tale. As you can see in the thumbnail and the title, Greensville Gang Wars. You know, I'm going to start this video off like this. The Virginia Department of Corrections didn't really get gang infested until very honestly recently, in the last 10 years or so. Before that, it was, where were you from? You from the beach, the 7 cities? Are you from 804 down here in Richmond? You from NVA, DMV, all that stuff. Then all of a sudden, you started to see a shift. You started to hear about these little Crip dudes like that were starting to run around, or these little Bloods. And then it was these Aryan dudes, right? And at first it was kind of laughable. You know, we're like, yeah, whatever, dude. You're a Crip, all right. Yeah, whatever, dude. You're a Blood, all right. Right? Well, I left the system in 2006. I came back in 2011, and that shit was rampant. Rampant. Everybody was a gangster. Now, in the county jails, you know most of the people around there. You know what I mean? You know most of the guys because you've either done time with these guys before, as you've been growing up in the system, or you partied with them on the street, or you beefed with them on the street, you know, slid into some of the same bitches, whatever. But now, a dude that you might have grew up with, right? That you might have done crime, did time, whatever with, you might be mortal fucking enemies now because you're on 2 different sides of the spectrum. You might be wearing blue, he might be wearing red. Ain't have shit to do with race out here. We don't go off that. We don't care about that out here for the most part. This shit don't bother us. When I heard about DMI, I didn't join an organization because I had to. I felt the need to, or because, you know, I was fearful. I was never fearful, man. By the time I joined the gang, I was already in my 30s. A lot of y'all don't know that. But I believed in it. I saw what was getting ready to go down in the system, and I knew I was getting ready to go down in the system. I joined the organization, and I took off with it. I had natural leadership abilities, it appeared. You know, it came natural to me to tell people how I felt and what I wanted. And these cats agreed with me. I kind of went crazy with it, though, you know? And that became my forefront way of thinking, was the gang. The gang, the gang. And I'm not the only motherfucker that happened to. A lot of these dudes ain't got nothing out in the world, man. A lot of these dudes ain't got families. A lot of these dudes ain't got wives and kids, man. All they got is their gang. And the gang is the only one that shows them any love. So that's the only thing that they show love to. I remember when I got to Haynesville, I started recruiting real hard. Real hard, man. But that was just a level 2. You can't really gangbang on these level 2s, man. They're gonna get you out of there. I knew that. I wasn't stupid. Didn't bother me. I've been on majors. Prefer to major. Prefer to sell over a dorm. Well, we ended up doing the gang hit that a lot of y'all have heard about. And, you know, I got shipped off, man. Shipped off to the Ville. Shipped off to Greensville. Now, this is an institution that I've spoke about, that a lot of you have heard about from myself, Jay Williams, Lockdown 23-1. You know, any dude that's been in the system and been on majors has usually slid through Greensville once, you know. That clown Joe, he ain't never been nowhere other than a level 2, so he wouldn't know nothing about that. But I got to Greensville, and I had never in my life, man, seen gang infestation like I did here. I went on the yard, and I'll never forget the first time I saw the Bloods hold a meeting. And it looked like the Million Man fucking March. I walked down the yard, and all I saw was a sea. And it was like one or two dudes up on the bleachers talking. And the COs, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? Nothing. They can't do nothing. They make $12 an hour. They're not going to do nothing. There was an incident. This is the first gang war I saw. And it was between the Muslims and the Bloods. And this was on S1. So Greensville set up 3 different prisons, basically. You got S1, which is 1, 2, and 3 building. You got S2, which is 4, 5, and 6 building. Then you got S3, which is 7, 8, and 9 building. When you first get to Greensville, they bust you in. And then they put your shit with you on this golf cart type thing, this cart. And they drive you through the prison, and they take you all the way to 9 building. 9 building is where, like, it's like their little reception unit. And you're going to go there for a few days, maybe a week. They're going to figure out where they're going to place you. There's 3,400 inmates at this prison. Then you get to your pod, you get to your cell. You meet your cellie. You establish your paperwork. You establish your rapport. You establish whether or not you're going to be able to live with this individual. Make sure it's not a boy. Make sure that you're not in a rival gang situation. That's happened to me before as well. They've tried to put me in a cell with an Aryan. I can't sell with an Aryan. Anyway, I went to 9 building. And I went over to S1, which I was in 2 building. And I started hearing these muffles about, man, the Muslims and the Bloods about to go to war, man, over a pack. One of the Muslim cats was supposed to go over to the visitation room for the Bloods to pick up a pack. They were going to pay him. The first no-no that he did was, as a Muslim, he shouldn't have been dealing with any type of narcotics, according to their bylaws. 2, he damn sure as hell shouldn't have been trying to go over for another organization to get a pack for them. And 3, he just shouldn't have been doing it. Well, I don't know the specifics or the dynamics of the whole situation. All I know is that boy went over there. The pack never got produced. So they run down on him in the pod. It's called a 229 when you go into a unit or a pod you're not supposed to be in, or an area you're not supposed to be in. It's called an unauthorized area. They 229 over to his pod. And they run down on the young boy, but there's a few Muslims in that pod. So they get in it. Now there's a standoff in the middle of the day room. About 15 cats. And if you really put in your mind 15 individuals getting ready to fight, that seems like a lot, doesn't it? Try 300. So, nothing happens at that particular time. Everybody kind of breaks up. COs actually end up intervening. They see these guys aren't where they're supposed to be. Blah, blah, blah. You can imagine how it worked out. They come in, they break it up. Everybody goes their separate ways. Now there's politics on the yard. Now shot callers and imams need to be involved. And an imam is what they call the head of the Muslim community. So the OGs and the triple OGs and the godfathers of the fives are running out there to speak with the imam and his guys. This is the sticky situation. These Muslims don't fucking play. You know, these aren't these, when you think about a Muslim, you might not be thinking of the same ones I'm thinking of. These aren't the peace wielding, turban wearing type. These are the bald-headed street Muslims with beards down to here that will fillet you. You know, they're not as savage, most of them, as they are in the cities. Like if you go to Jersey and Philly, New York, these are where you have some of the most savage black Muslims in the world, in my opinion. Definitely in the country. Baltimore. You don't want issues with these dudes, man. Well, I'm on the yard. I'm lifting some weights with the homies, my buddies or whatever. And we're watching it. Ain't got shit to do with us. Get the popcorn out. Grab me a cold Pepsi. About to be a show. They spoke, it seemed like they spoke for over an hour. And what they're speaking about is they're coming to terms. They're coming to an agreement. Who's going to owe what? Who's going to pay what? Are we going to do anything about it at all? Who was in the wrong? Who's in the right? So forth and so on. It's touchy, man, because think about it like this. If you go to war, war's expensive. I've said this before. I've said it before. War is expensive. Not only do you lose guys, numbers, but you're losing whatever hustle that you might have going on amongst yourselves or each other on the yard. There's a lot of money transacting between people on this yard. When you go out to yard, it's like a flea market at times, especially on store days, especially on sports days, Sundays. Everybody's trying to get their ticket in for the parlays. Everybody's passing money. The visits are going on, so people are coming back with the pack. People got their Western Unions. They've got their cash apps ready. They've got their money ready. Their food items. They've got a net bag full of tunas, shit they can slide under the fence or through a door. Because they either want to get their ticket, get their product, or get high. That's the yard. It ain't just a bunch of people out there doing push-ups and playing basketball. It is a small network. It's like a city, man, especially at a place like Greensville. The biggest, largest, medium max security prison on the East Coast. That shit is bumping. Bumping. We went in that night and came out for chow. Seemed like just another regular dinner to me. I was heading over there. Sorry about that, man. It's hot. The phone got hot on me. Anyway, I think it was meat rock night, so I was going to have beans. So we head over to Chow Hall, and I noticed, man, it was warm outside. But a lot of cats had these coats on. You know what that means. We didn't even make it to the mess hall, man. I heard it. And it's a sound like you never want to hear in your life. The sound of metal ripping in the flesh, tearing in the bone. A lot of people think you just get stabbed or whatever, and that's it. You ever heard of a bone crusher? They call it a bone crusher for a reason, y'all. They call it a bone crusher because as you come in, you hit the rib or you hit the plate, and it smashes and cracks and just crushes the bone and cartilage on the way in to engage your vitals. Next thing you know, there's 50, 60 plus men bumping, thumping, slicing, dicing, cutting each other up, man. And the only thing you can think to do is to get from around the situation. COs are yelling, everybody down, everybody down. Like hell, everybody down. No, sir, everybody scatters. Because you don't want to be in the middle of that. You don't want to get misconstrued as an op. Misconstrued as somebody they're looking for. And you say, oh, Big Lance, you wouldn't have had been no problem. Yes, I damn sure could have been, because there's a lot of white Muslims. There's even a couple white bloods. Not many, but there are the exception. This Royal Rumble aspect must have lasted a good up to 5 minutes before they finally got it halfway under control. But the thing is, they can't lock all these people up. People are stabbing and running blood everywhere, and they're dispersing back into the buildings. So now, the whole prison goes on lockdown. Not for the night. Not for the week. You'll be lucky if you see daylight in 2 to 3, maybe a month. It's a long time. Better hope you made it to the store before this all happened, or your ass gonna be having 3 hots, a cot, and a jack-off spot. And that's it. Until they decide to let you out. That's prison. That's the reality of these gang wars. These gangsters, they don't care about your visit next week. They don't care if your grandma might be sick and dying. This is the last time you were going to get to see her. They don't care if you were supposed to call your kids this week. They don't care. Gang war is gang war. That shit comes first. When I hear these youngsters out here now talking about they're gangsters, they emulate these rappers they see on these videos and YouTube, and just the shit that they think is cool. I just got to shake my head and remember, man, there was a point in time when I did too. And you can give them all the advice in the world. But there comes a point in time where you got to let people make their own choices and their own mistakes. Learn their own lessons, their way. I love people, and I've got a huge heart, and I try to help as many people as I can. But some people just don't want it. Some people, that's what they want to do, and they're going to do it. And I might have been something in the system or at one point in time, but at the end of the day, I'm just a white boy from the trailer park, man. Just another dude trying to make it out here. But the one thing I can't say I do is stay sucker free, baby. Thanks again for dropping by and gratiating yourself with me on these stores. Got a lot of new content coming out. Hope you guys stick around. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, man. Hit it. Remember that all it takes is one bad decision in one day of your life to fuck it all up, to piss it all away, man. Everything you've ever worked hard for, everything you've ever loved in your life will be gone. I don't care what they say to you. Oh, I'll wait for you, baby. Yeah. No. She's not going to wait for you. The older you get, the less people you'll have, and the more people you will watch drift away, move on, or die. So go on out there, be a gangster. Go on out there, be the tough guy. Go on out there, be a thug. See how far it gets you. Y'all stay blessed, man. Let's go. It's rolling like a six-shot, gunning in the miles, keep dragging on, on, on. Trying to make it home. Rapping alone, one life, been a long run. Wind whistling the devil's outlaw song.